Hey, this is Renata. I'm continuing my series on going over the planetary energy that rules each day. So we're on Saturday today, and Saturday is ruled by Saturn. So this is the worksheet that I have at the Life Manifestation School community. So the Saturn Meditation and Trend Energy Workbook. This is the filter for Saturn. Which is in the astrology pack. If you have the programs, you can just use this with the worksheet, with the workbook. If you don't have the programs, the other filters are on the AOD 48 filter pack, which you can download for free at stan.store/life manifestations. So this is working with Saturn current, Saturday energy, discipline, grounding, protection, wisdom, endurance, and selected AOD 48 trend energies. So the many planetary and symbolic system, Saturn is associated with Saturday. Saturn is traditionally connected with discipline, structure, responsibility, patience, endurance, karma, boundaries, wisdom through experience, and long-term mastery. A Saturn meditation is not about speed or force. It's about becoming steady enough to build something real. Saturn energy asks for grounding, maturity, responsibility, focus, and alignment with what lasts over time. Characteristics associated with Saturn: structure, discipline, and order, endurance, patience, and long-term effort, grounding, realism, and practicality, wisdom through experience, protection through boundaries, emotional restraint and maturity, concentration and focused effort, spiritual endurance and resilience, steady effort, clear boundaries, wisdom through time. The Saturn meditation practice: settle the breath and imagine deep indigo, charcoal, silver, and grounding earth tones surrounding you. With each inhale, draw in steadiness, focus, maturity, patience, and spiritual strength. With each exhale, release chaos, impulsiveness, fear, distraction, and emotional excess. Allow the body to feel heavier and more rooted. Saturn energy often feels quiet, ancient, protective, and disciplined, rather than emotionally dramatic. It ties in similar to like Virgo in the zodiac. So the suggested trend structure for the main target is connection with Saturn, consciousness, and grounded Saturday energy. The trend: discipline, wisdom, boundaries, protection, concentration, endurance, stability, and spiritual maturity. The basic action, like the actions you can take: meditation, journaling, planning, structured action, simplifying, studying, grounding routines. The trend environments: calm structure, focus, emotional steadiness, protected space, practical organization, alternate target, protection against fear, rigidity, obsession, emotional coldness, or burnout. Working phrase: I align with Saturn energy in harmony with discipline, wisdom, grounded action, clear boundaries, and lasting results. So Saturn filter setups: discipline and long-term success. You would use secure success, concentration, boost intelligence, problem solving and strategy. You can use solve problems, highly tuned instincts, boost intelligence, protection and boundaries, physical protection, reverse evil, avoid unwanted person. Truth and protection from manipulation, destroy plots and tricks, highly tuned instincts, physical protection, calm authority and emotional restraint, overcome worry, control anger, aid meditation, spiritual endurance, spiritual strength, aid meditation, secure success. Choose one setup at a time. Saturn work is usually stronger when it's focused, grounded, and tied to a practical action. So simple setup options. Option 1 for a meditation setup: place a Saturn image near your meditation space. Choose one Saturn-aligned AOD 48 filter from the setup table. Breathe quietly for 5 to 15 minutes while focusing on steadiness and grounding. Journal any insights, realizations, or practical next steps afterward. Option 2, write one clear Saturn trend, such as discipline, focus, and stable success, grounded protection and wisdom, or strong boundaries and calm authority. Add 1 to 3 AOD 48 filters. Pair the trend with practical real-world action and consistency. Close this session by grounding and releasing attachment to immediate outcomes. A Saturday ritual: use the practice on Saturday or whenever grounding is needed. Keep the environment calm, quiet, and orderly. Reflect on long-term goals, discipline, and responsibility. End with one practical, grounded action in the physical world. So then within this workbook, each filter is listed and some possible uses for the filter. Also, the footer of each thing has my phone number if you want to reach out and text me and ask questions. Has my email, and or you can find me in the Life Manifestation School community. which is linked in the description. So, secure success, reflection, and meditation. The Saturn focus is stable achievement, discipline, long-term foundations. Reflection questions, what foundation am I truly trying to build? Where do I need more patience and structure? What long-term success deserves steady effort? How can discipline become empowering instead of restrictive? Meditation phrase, my success is steady, grounded, and built on strong foundations. Grounded action, choose one practical action that matches the filter. Organize your space, make a plan, create a routine, set the boundaries, study the material, complete the task, or take one grounded step that allows the Saturn current to land in the physical reality. The closing breath, inhale, I ground, exhale, I release fear. Inhale, I focus, exhale, I steady the result. And they have one for solve problems. The Saturn focus, clarity, strategy, practical thinking. Reflection questions, which problem needs calm structure instead of emotional reaction? What practical next step already feels obvious? Where am I overcomplicating the solution? What would wisdom do here? Meditation phrase, clear solutions emerge through patience, structure, and grounded thought. I'm going to overcome worry. Saturn focus, calm endurance, preparation instead of anxiety. Reflection questions, what fear am I carrying too heavily? What would trust and timing feel like? Where can I replace anxiety with preparation? What grounding ritual helps me return to center? I release the unnecessary worry and return to grounded strength. Physical protection. Saturn focus, boundaries, safety, grounding. Where do I need stronger energetic boundaries? What habits help me feel secure and protected? How can I move through the world with steadiness? What practical action supports safety today? Meditation phrase, I move through life protected, grounded, and supported. Reverse evil. Saturn focus, spiritual clearing, sovereignty, protected boundaries. Reflection questions, what influence does not belong in my field? Where do I need stronger spiritual hygiene? How can I clear fear without feeding it? What protective practice brings me back to sovereignty? Meditation phrase, only energies aligned with my highest good may remain in my space. And then you choose a grounded action and you do the closing breath. Destroy plots and tricks. The Saturn focus is discernment, protection from manipulation, and truth. Reflection questions, where do I need clearer perception? What hidden agendas or confusion needs to fall away? How can I protect myself without becoming paranoid? What truth needs to be named calmly? Deception falls away, and truth, clarity, and protection surround me. Highly tuned instincts. The Saturn focus is discernment, wisdom, inner knowing. Reflection questions, what intuition have I been ignoring? Where is Saturn asking for discernment? What feels quietly true beneath the noise? How can I strengthen and trust in my inner guidance? My instincts are disciplined, clear, and wisely guided. Concentration. The Saturn focus is focus, mastery, sustained attention. What deserves my full focus right now? What distraction keeps weakening my progress? How can I create stronger routines? What would mastery require from me? The meditation phrase, my attention is focused, steady, and aligned with what matters. Aid meditation. Saturn focus, stillness, contemplation, inner silence. What becomes visible when I slow down? What truth waits beneath distraction? How can silence become restorative? What daily practice deepens my grounding? I enter deep stillness with patience, discipline, and calm awareness. Spiritual strength. Saturn focus, endurance, resilience, spiritual maturity. What challenge has strengthened my character? Where am I being called to stand firm? How can I become spiritually steadier? What does true inner strength feel like? Spiritual strength rises within me and steadies my path. Control anger. Saturn focus, emotional discipline, restraint, and wisdom. What reaction needs more patience? What boundary can be expressed calmly? How can strength remain grounded instead of explosive? What would mature self-control look like here? Meditation phrase, I respond with calm strength, restraint, and grounded clarity. Avoid unwanted person. The Saturn focuses boundaries, distance from draining influence. Who or what drains my energy? What boundaries are overdue? How can I reclaim my peace? What distance would restore clarity? My boundaries are strong and my energy remains protected. Boost intelligence. The Saturn focuses wisdom, learning, strategic thought. What knowledge would strengthen my path? Where can I become more disciplined mentally? What deserves deeper study? How can I sharpen my thinking with patience? The meditation phrase is my mind grows stronger, clearer, and more disciplined each day. Closing reflection. Saturn work is strongest when approached with patience, ethics, maturity, and consistency. Saturn currents are not usually fast or dramatic. They build slowly, carefully, and deeply through repetition and grounded action. After your meditation or trance session, journal any realizations, patterns, boundaries, strategic insights, emotional shifts, or practical next steps that arise naturally. Saturn often speaks through silence, responsibility, timing, structure, endurance, and hard-earned wisdom. Integration questions. What structure or routine is trying to emerge in my life? Which Saturn-aligned AOD 48 filter felt strongest during the session? What practical grounded action can I take within 24 hours? Where do I need stronger boundaries or discipline? What long-term result deserves steady effort? Final phrase. I build my life with wisdom, patience, grounded action, and enduring strength. So basically, you would just work on one filter and one setup at a time, and then journal while you're running the trend, but you'd place the filter with your chi card or your orgone generator.